Hey, this is Kevin from Breakdance, and we're very thrilled to announce Breakdance 2.2. Breakdance 2.2 introduces the all-new term loop builder element, as well as various fixes and polishes to continually improve Breakdance. In this video, we're going to be showcasing various ways to use the term loop builder element, as well as how to build the global blocks for the term loop builder. So without further delay, let's get started on our first example. In this example, we're going to be adding a term loop builder that displays all of our categories on our single post template. We can see that we already have a column here, and we're just going to be adding a term loop builder to this column. So let's go to add the term loop builder. I've already created the global blocks for now, but we'll go over how the global blocks are created later in the video. For now, we're going to select the categories list global block, and next we're going to edit the query. Currently, the query is set to load terms by query. We're going to disable that for now, and then we're going to choose the taxonomy categories. Next, we're going to hide all our empty categories, and you'll see that this will hide the general category in this example. And finally, we're going to edit the spacing a little bit for the categories. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick by editing the post padding. And we're going to set this to 0.25 rem. And we'll just apply it to everywhere. And now we can see that we have a nice category list that is available on the blog posts. So let's save the template and view it on the front end. You can see our category lists. We can select them and then select the posts associated to that category. In our next example, we've added a term loop builder to another post list, but in this example, the term loop builder is only getting post tags related to the current post. This is slightly different from the previous example because that just showed all the categories. So let's take a look at the query here. We can see we're returning the taxonomy post tag and the object IDs. In this case, we're getting the get queried object ID, which is going to get the current post ID. So let's view different posts within Breakdance. We'll see that the post tags within the term loop builder change with each example. And let's also view this on the front end just to see how it works. So we have all these different tags that we can select. And then based on that tag, we'll see different posts related to it. In the next example, we're showcasing product categories on the homepage of our website. Again, we have the global block already selected, and we see the query is taxonomy product categories with a limit of 4, and we're hiding any empty categories. The limit of 4 will make sure that we don't have any overflow. So let's take a look at it on the front end. And again, as we scroll down, we can see that we have the different categories here, and we can click the Shop Now button for any of those categories to go right to the shop page for that category. Next, we're showing how to use the term loop builder within a menu builder element. In this example, we have a country, region, and destination, and each with different taxonomy terms that users can click. Let's go ahead and look at how this is set up on the back end. Let's edit our main header. Open up the structure panel, and we'll see that we have various term loop builders, which are set for each of the different advanced tabs that we have selected. And let's expand the term query. And we'll see that we're using taxonomy category, a parent ID of 2, and hide empty true. If we look at a different term loop builder, we'll see that we've changed the parent ID to match the region taxonomy that we're using in this example. And the same is true for the country term loop builder. Again, the parent ID has changed. And you've seen the results on the front end. Let's go ahead and look at our last example. And in this example, we are using a term loop builder again, but we're using a standard query that is getting categories and hiding empty categories. We're using a slider layout, and we'll see that as you change the slides, it shows the different categories. The other part that makes this term loop builder interesting is we're using an ACF image field to create the background images. Let's now shift our attention to the global block to see how some of them are set up and some of the new data points that are now available in Breakdance 2.2. In this first example, we'll see that we have a simple text link that uses the data point term name and the data point term permalink. We have another example that is very much the same, but it's using a button instead of a text link element. Again, it's using the term name and the term permalink. In our next example, we're using a wrapper link to create a link for all the content that is also using the term permalink. In the next field, we're using term name, which we can see here. The third field, we're using the term count. The term count will get the total number of posts related to that taxonomy. And last, we have the term description to get the description that you've added for your taxonomy if you choose to use that. In this global block example, we're going to be using some WooCommerce fields to create our product category list that we showed on the front end. We'll see here that we have an image element that uses the product category image. We have our text that gets the term name, and then our button that gets the term permalink. Alongside the product category image, we've also included the product category count. The product category count is different from the term count because the product category count gets all the products related to the current category and any children category. Finally, in our last example, we're going to be looking at how to use some ACF fields within our global block. So let's open the structure panel, and we'll see again we have the wrapper link with the term permalink. And let's open up the background, and we can see that in this case, we are using a category image. So if we open up the dynamic data option, we'll see that we have an ACF field for category images. Any ACF fields that you use that are applied to a taxonomy term will be listed here. So if you have text or if you have images or whatever you're using, you should be able to use that within the Term Loop Builder's global block. And lastly, let's go over the different data points that are available now for terms. You can see we have a new term category, and within that, we have the term name, term ID, term count, which gets the total number of posts related to the term permalink, and the term field. The term field is very much like the post custom field. You can enter your term meta key here and input whatever fields you'd like. Then we have the term description. And last, we have the product category count and the product category image, which is not available for the text link. Our next feature in Breakdance 2.2 is the when empty control that you can use with loop elements to display a global block when no results are found. Right now, we're looking at a search results template with a section, so let's go ahead and look at how to use this new feature. We'll get started by adding a search form element. We'll set the placeholder for the element to be search query, and we're going to add just a fallback text for the placeholder, and we'll just do enter search text. And then we'll add a few styles to our search form. Next, we're going to add a post list element. And we'll add some margin here. And then within the post list element, we're going to go to post advanced, open that up, and we'll see the when empty global block selector. We can then select our no results found global block. Let's save this really quick and look at the global block. As you can see in this example, it's just a basic text element, but you can add whatever you would like within the global block. Let's now go back to the template. And we're just going to show that if you add the product list element, you'll see it there as well. So under advanced when empty, and then for the post loop builder, you'll find it again under the advanced below the alternate and static items. So let's now save the page and view our search template on the front end. This is the standard WordPress search. So if I look up photography, we'll find all the posts related to that. If I look up Northern Lights, we are only going to find one result. And then if I wanted to look up just Southern Lights, we'll see that there are now no results available for this search. So our global block is working, and we can now let users know that they didn't find anything and the next steps if that's necessary. There's much more in Breakdance 2.2. Check the change log for a complete list of additional polishes and fixes. Thank you for watching.